Hey, my friends, thank you for joining us again. Today, we are on a journey. This is part 3 of the 3's of leadership. Moses Khan is with us again today. Moses, welcome.
Thank you.
So we have just been unpacking this revelation that you have received as it comes to leadership. We've talked about relational integrity. We've talked about direction and movement. Today, we want to talk about one of my favorite subjects, and that is building or development. Building or development. Before we give the 3 parts of this, give us a working definition.
I would say leadership is void if there is no building involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very deep.
Yeah.
Very deep.
All true leadership involves building. If you're a leader, you have to build.
You have to build.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do we build? Number 1, we build ourselves. Number 2, we build people.
Yeah.
And then number 3, we build the future.
The future.
Number 1, we build ourselves.
Yeah.
Number 2, we build people. Number 3, we build the future.
Yeah.
Let's actually start on number 3. Let's start on what does that mean that we build the future?
Yeah. That's good. Leadership has to be connected to the future. It has to be future oriented. And so as leaders, I think this is the thing that should give you courage. This is the thing that should give you energy. This should be the wind beneath your wings, is that you are actually building the future. What you're doing here, and I think as a leader, you have to understand that. You have to believe these 2 words: this matters. If you don't believe that as a leader, something is wrong. And so you have to believe what you're doing matters, that you're actually building the future other people are waiting to step into, that people have not encountered yet, that people have not realized yet. You are building this. And so I think as a leader, this gets me really excited, because you have to understand you are building what other people are going to step into, what has not come into fruition yet, what has not been realized yet.
Well, as you're thinking and speaking about that, I even think about Apple, and we are just so used to having the iPhone, the iPad, the Apple Watch, and yet these things didn't exist until someone created
That's right.
The future. Now, when I think about that, somebody had once said that, leaders, they see the future, they work backwards, they remove obstacles, and then they take other people with them.
That's good.
So they see the future, they work backwards, they remove obstacles, and ultimately they take other people with them. So let's talk about bringing people with you. Let's talk about number 2. We're going backwards this time. Okay. So we're building the future. You said it's void. Leadership is void unless they're building something.
Yeah.
And probably more important than anything, in our opinion, is that we are building other people.
That's right.
What do we mean by that? How are we building other people?
Yeah, we are taking time to invest in the lives of people. And I would say as leaders, not only should you invest, in the lives of the people that maybe are part of your clientele, maybe those that receive your services, if you are in a business or whatever, but you have to also take the time to invest in your team. You have to recognize who on your team is putting in work, who is responsible, and you have to take the time to actually care for these individuals, build them up. Maybe that means supplying them with resources. Maybe that means supplying them with training. But you are taking the time not just to build a thing, but to build people.
So what do you say to the leader that says, well, why don't they build themselves? Why don't they take self-responsibility? Why is that my job to build other people?
Yeah, because as a leader, you're not just showing leadership over your organization. You're showing leadership over the people that have been entrusted to you, the people that are trusting you as their leader. And so people are also under your care.
I believe one of the greatest ways to increase morale, build loyalty, is to invest in people.
Yeah.
Whether it's in programs, in knowledge, as you mentioned, training, sometimes just giving them the tools and the resources.
Yeah.
Like how many times have we heard, I just don't have the right equipment to do the job, and yet they're they're working with faulty things, or they don't have it at all, and that is a true sign that we value our team, that we are investing in them, that we're giving them the resources in order for them to accomplish what we talked about earlier, and that's vision, goals, objectives, etc. So we're building the future. We're building people by investing, and then we're building ourselves. Isn't that a little bit selfish?
There's nothing worse than a leader who does not build himself. I don't think there's anything worse than a leader who doesn't take the time to self-evaluate, invest in themselves. Sometimes that means getting a coach. Sometimes that means going to the gym. Whatever that might look like, leaders build themselves up. They realize that they are important, they are valuable, not to an not to get their egos, stuffed up and big that nothing can happen without them. Not in that way. I don't mean that. But I mean, you're the leader. So you should be taking care of yourself. You should be taking care of yourself in terms of your health, in terms of your emotional well-being, in terms of your mental well-being, and then also in terms of your knowledge and what you didn't know then. Like, are you more competent today as a leader? Have you invested in in yourself more? Are you reading anything? Right? I love what one person said way back in the day, and I'm not sure who said it, but he said leaders are readers. And so what are you reading? How are you growing? How are you expanding? Or have you just become so focused on the to-do list that you're actually not growing as an individual and a leader?
So really, this is the idea of relentless improvement. And yet, some leaders probably arrive at a place where they say, well, it cost me a lot to get here. I sacrificed. I'm at the top, and I'm done. And what we're saying is, no, you're not done.
You're not.
Because leadership is a journey. And I really believe that when you get off that journey, you're done. You should not be leading, because I wholeheartedly agree that idea of self-development, not for ego, not for pride, but that we can lead others effectively in the right direction that we've been talking about. Sometimes it's based on components, right? So sometimes development might be part of relational integrity. Sometimes it's on the area of strategy. I like that you even said that, some of it is fitness. We were talking just recently, and there was an organization where fitness, health was one of their core values. I'd never heard that before, by the way. Yeah. Usually it's emotional, mental, but I thought that was phenomenal.
I thought it was so brilliant that part of their core team, core values as a team, that they came up with is we're actually going to give ourselves to living healthy and being healthy, because that affects how you work, that affects your sharpness, that affects your emotional well-being, that affects it all. And so I thought that was incredibly brilliant.
And so hopefully, if everyone's on that, someone's not bringing donuts, right? Because
maybe they have cheat day. I don't know.
But it's what I mean. It's destructive. Now, I thought that was tremendous, but whether it's fitness, whether it's emotional intelligence, whatever it may be, here again, we have this focus on we are going to improve. And by the way, I think one of the greatest things that leaders do is I love what you said. Hey, we're going to develop together. We're going to grow together. Yeah. We recognize that in this aspect, we're talking about developing ourselves. But as a leader, can you really develop yourself without developing others? There's going to be, whether it's by osmosis, intentional or not, I mean, it's just going to happen.
Yeah, 100%. You can't give, to others what you don't have. And so as a leader, that's important. By the same token of it, your people are going to replicate and mirror you as a leader. And so if they see you as someone who's not interested in self-improvement and the process of growth and not investing in themselves, then guess what they're going to mirror? Guess what they're going to bring into the culture of the team and the culture of the organization? That, hey, it doesn't actually matter that if we improve.
Yeah. And Moses, even as you were speaking, it can't just be this constant objectives and vision and profitability. There has to be something we call morale. To me, when we build ourselves and we build the team, we are also building fun.
100%.
We're building fun. We enjoy being around one another. We enjoy doing things together. That
Celebrating together.
because you're spending a lot of time with these people.
Celebrating is so underrated.
100%.
What you can accomplish by repeatedly celebrating people, wins, good things happening, man, the strength you give to people, the courage and hope you give to people, it is just, you can't do it any other way.
I love it. Which then connects back to that whole idea of vision.
Yeah.
So the three things we talked about: relational integrity, we talked about direction and movement, and now we're talking about building and development. Summarize it all up in one or two sentences for us. The three threes
whole
of
thing.
the 3 of leadership, why it's important.
Wow. The 3's of leadership. I really think this is a holistic view at leadership. Let me just say there's a reason it starts with vision and it ends with future. And all of these components within the middle hold those things together, because you really cannot have the future without vision. And so all the things in the middle, make sure those things happen.
Right. And of course, the vision starts with the future.
100%.
And there you go. Moses, it has been great having you on our program. Thank you for joining us today. Listen, like, comment, ask questions. We will get to every single one, and we'll do our best to answer them. We hope that this has been helpful to you and to your organization, and please share it with others. And today, I thank you for joining us again on the Leadership Center.